about losing weight. And it's not even necessarily about preventing sickness and disease. It's not even really about having less aches and pains. But what it's really about more than anything else is this is about you really accepting who God designed you to be. Like there's a reason that you're down here on this. There's a reason that you're here. And when you're able to function at a higher level, you're able to do more things the way that you were created and what you were created for. But when you're sick, when you're suffering, when you don't have energy, when you can't sleep, when your hormones are unbalanced, when those things are happening, you don't get a chance to have the life that you were designed to have. And so what my job today is to sit up here and help you understand this and how to take hold of that. And so some of you guys know that if you guys are patients here, you guys have seen me go through some changes. I've lost about 1/5 of my body weight in the last 5 months. And so it's been pretty amazing, the challenges that I went through. But I'm going to share that with you guys to be able to sit up here and talk to you guys about that. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm going to talk about that later. But I sat where you guys are sitting, and I made the changes. And it's not a mistake. I coach a lot of doctors and a lot of their staff on a regular basis. And I sat 2 months ago and I said, listen, your bank account is not lying to you. It's exactly where it's supposed to be with the amount of work and time and energy that you put into it. Your scale at home, it's not lying to you, right? Your relationships around you, they're not lying to you. They're exactly what you've put into this thing. And so stop wishing that those things were different without putting the work in that you need to put in. And so what I'm going to teach you guys today is, yes, you're going to need to know the knowledge to be able to get there, but it's a matter of taking action and stepping in the right direction. So it's kind of funny that it's been a crazy 2 years. Yeah. Everybody can agree. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Yeah. You guys can talk to me. I know it's morning. Okay. It's been a little crazy, right? So what's really crazy about it is 2 years ago, I sat here and did a class. And we even did a few classes online. Some of you guys that have been patients for a really long time, you guys know this. We did a lot of classes online during the beginning of the quote unquote pandemic. And so what happened is that the things that I said 2 years ago, and this is what fascinates me about being banned off of Instagram and Facebook and all this kind of stuff. Everything that I said 2 years ago is still true today and will still be true 100 years from now. I have not said anything false throughout that whole time. Everything that I've shared about masks, about vaccines, about the body's immune system, about how the body works, it was true 100 years ago. It's going to be true 100 years from now. Because when you talk in principles, when you talk about truth never changes, right? In the Bible, it talks to you about how to raise your kids or how to manage your finances. Those things don't change. And if you follow what a principle is, you're going to have the best chance at having the greatest life that you possibly can. So what my job today is to teach you guys what principles are more than anything else. Because you guys don't need another fad diet. Like you guys don't need another fad that you guys can kind of, let's go do the South Beach diet, or let's do the keto, let's do the Atkins, you guys don't need another diet. But what you guys need is you need sound-based principles that you guys can follow for the rest of your life. And that's what I want to teach you guys. I predicted 2 years ago, I said, listen, if we start spraying chemicals all over everything, right? Like I took my car in 2 years ago and they started spraying all kinds of stuff in there. They didn't even ask me about this stuff. And they're like, well, it's for prevention of viruses. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that. And I predicted that if they start spraying all this crap on everything and they start putting masks on everybody and you start breathing the stuff that's in the mask and breathing your own stuff, the own stuff that you're trying to get rid of, your body's trying to detox stuff. I predicted that if they start injecting in your arms chemicals that we don't even know what's in there, that they won't tell us about, that they won't release until 55 years from now. Do you guys understand that? Like they're trying to, Pfizer and all these big tech companies that created these vaccines, they don't want to release their information. They want to release like a page a day for the next 55 years. You guys, there's a problem with this. And that we predicted 2 years ago that if we just follow this pathway that they're taking us on, we're going to be sicker than we've ever been before. And so I also predicted, though, the way to be able to prevent sickness and disease for you and your family was to get healthy from the inside. That's the only true way that you can heal is from the inside out. That's the only way that you could truly be healthy. It has to come from the inside out always. Okay? So one of the things I want to help you guys understand is that our mission is not about getting you guys so you guys, like I said, feel better. It's not so that you guys have less pain. It's not so you guys can reverse degeneration and sickness and disease. What it's about empowering you. We want to empower you to have a longer, healthier life through chiropractic care and the integration of the 5 essentials, which is what I'm going to teach you today. See, the thing is, and it kind of annoys some of my patients, but I don't care. I don't want to adjust you guys and teach you guys this stuff so you guys can die with less pain. That's like not my goal at all. My goal is so that you can assume, again, what did God design you for, right? Like, are you doing everything that you've been called to do, and are you in your calling, and do you love life where you're at? That's what's fun for me. And so that's what I want to see out of my patients more than anything else, that you're going to be used by God the way that you were and what you were designed for. So this is me speaking 2 weeks ago down at a seminar down in Florida. And I love doing this with chiropractors too, because with chiropractors and their staff and everything like that, it's no different with patients. I tell them, listen, I don't want to teach you guys how to run a better business so you can have more money and take more vacations. I want you to have a more fulfilled life. I want you to be able to assume who God designed you to be. Again, it's the same thing that I tell them as well. And so what I love about this is that when I get a chance to go do this stuff, it's fun because you get a chance to pour into other people. You see other people that live like we do. We're at a seminar with 800 people there, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's like there's no pandemic. It's like we're on a different planet. It's so amazing. And it's fun to be there for the whole weekend. So before I get too deep in this, I do want to just introduce you guys to my team. Most of you guys know these guys. Give them a round of applause. How amazing are they, right? Keisha's been with me for 25 years. Like a decade, which is about long. So Michaela has been here for 2 years almost coming up. Nani has been here for almost 2 years as well. So they're the ones that make this thing run. And like I get a chance to come and have fun, and that's it. And they get a chance to organize, and they get to hound you guys about making your appointments and staying on track and make sure you're doing your home stuff and all that fun stuff. And we also have a new addition to our team. Dr. Lauren's back here. Just wait for Dr. Lauren back there. She's a recent graduate. And so she's gonna be working with us here fairly soon too. So why I do what I do, I just told you guys, I want people to be able to assume what God designed them for. That's what I feel like my purpose is here on this planet. I actually do want to share a testimonial before we get started about metabolism, because I know you guys thought you're coming to a metabolism class, but it's going to be so much deeper than that. Because when it comes down to metabolism, it's really about the powerhouse of your cells. Every single cell in your body has a metabolism. Every single cell in your body has mitochondria. That's what metabolism is all about. It's about the energy created. It's like little engines or little batteries that you have in every single cell. So if your cells, so when we think metabolism, we think what? We think losing weight. That's what most everybody thinks when they think metabolism, right? Okay. Or energy, right? That's the other thing. What else? What else do you guys think? Is that the two? The food you intake, right? That's what we think. But you guys got to understand it's so much deeper than that, because metabolism, okay, is really about what are the energy and what's going on with the energy in every single cell that's inside your body. And if your heart cells can't create the proper type of energy, guess what it creates? It creates dis-ease in the heart. It means that you have less than 100% function in your heart. If the energy cells, if the mitochondria, if the energy inside of your thyroid is off, it's going to throw off your thyroid. If it's in your if it's any part of your body, then it disrupts how your body's able to function. Okay, so here's a real cool story. So Madison, you mind telling it? You mind standing up? So great. I actually just found this story out the other day. I didn't know the full part of this story, but this is a really cool story, because I was talking about how do you incorporate? Why in the heck would you ever get adjusted? And especially if you're trying to just lose weight, right? So, but this is a cool story.
So I actually started getting adjusted at a Max Living chiropractor in like Harrisburg almost, but I started going because of pain, and
which is typical for most people, right?
Right. I had neck pain, I had hip pain, I sit at the desk all day, I'm working from home. For 2 years before that, I had also been struggling really hard with my weight. Despite working out with a personal trainer 3 times a week, I was following her nutrition plan to a T. I was wearing a Fitbit and tracking all my calories on my FitnessPal, and all my resources were telling me that I should be losing 2 pounds a week, but nothing was happening. It was really frustrating. I was starting to think like, okay, I'm over 30, like maybe this is just what happens now. Once I started getting regular adjustments, I started off going 3 times a week. Within 3 weeks, my pain had gotten a lot better, but also magically the weight started coming off at exactly 2 pounds every week, like it was supposed to. So now I'm just going once a week, and it's amazing.
How cool is that? So what I think is so amazing about that is that, again, I'm going to talk about all the 5 essentials here today, okay? So we're going to talk about nutrition and exercise and mindset, and we're going to talk about chiropractic. And so the thing is that when I adjust people, it's never about adjusting you for your symptoms. It's about adjusting you so your body can optimize, so it can function at the highest level, so your body can do what it's supposed to do and what it's called to do. That's how it's supposed to work. Can I get one of you guys to shut this blind over here on the left of me? It's in Miss Linda's eyes. This one? Yeah, she's gonna get this. It's blinding everybody here. So, cool. So let's dive in. So what is your metabolism? So people say I have a slow metabolism, or that person must have a fast metabolism. So you ever do a diet plan with your husband or your wife, and the husband always loses weight faster, and the wife, yeah, right. So, and it's so stupid, and he's still eating candy and he still loses weight, right? That's how, and he thinks he's okay. That's how it works, right? So it's always the husbands. They're always the problems. Okay, so what metabolism is so much deeper than that. Like I said before, it's about the energy that's in your cells, right? And so if your energy in your cells to your heart are off, then your heart doesn't function like it's supposed to. If the metabolism in your cells to your digestive system's off, your digestive system's off. So it can't work from the inside. So basically what basic metabolism is all about is you take food, okay, carbs, fats, and protein. It goes into your body, and it goes through this fascinating thing called the Krebs cycle, which I hated in chemistry class. If you guys ever took chemistry class, right? Biochemistry, right? And you guys take that? It's the worst. Okay, then it goes through this whole thing that it actually kicks out all these chemical reactions inside your mitochondria of your cells, and it creates energy. ATP is what it's called. And if any of those chemical reactions are off, then your metabolism's off. And so basically what it is, your food goes in and digests, and it turns into energy inside your body, right? So it's like plugging your phone in at night. It's supposed to be, okay? But metabolism is more than just weight loss. So if your chemical processes are off in your body, right, then your body's going to start to break down. If your energy is not working in the areas, like I said, it's going to keep breaking down. So here's some of the metabolic disorders, metabolism disorders that we see out there. And so when you think of metabolism, most of us think weight loss, but you should be thinking about all these things: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, thyroid dysfunction, polycystic ovarian syndrome, infertility, Cushing's disease, cancer, fatty liver disease, arthritis, chronic pain. There's so many more things. The list can go on and on and on. So when you see these diseases or see these problems, see these symptoms, that means it's already really late in the metabolic process that the body's already breaking down. So how I like to help people understand this, and I'm going to keep referring back to this over and over again, if this wall over here is 100% function, meaning that all your cells are getting the proper energy, there's no sickness, no disease, no nothing. If your body has 0% function and the metabolism's all screwed up, at 0% function, you're what? Somebody said it. You're all dead. You're dead, right? That's what happens. So you're somewhere on this continuum, either moving one way or another. The problem is that as you start to lose function, as you have dysfunction in the body, as your cells, as your metabolic disorders start to happen, way before these symptoms even show up. Symptoms don't show up until you hit about 60% function. That's finally when it shows up. It's kind of like, my best analogy for this is an oil light on your car, right? You get an oil change, you get a new filter, you get everything, the oil's filled up all the way top. It's your car's functioning or processing at about 100%, right? But as you start to run it, you start to lose some oil, right? Hopefully you don't have a leak, but still, you start losing it. If you lose 1 ounce of oil, you won't even notice anything from a function standpoint. But if you lose 5 ounces of oil or 10 ounces of oil, now it starts to create less function in that car than it should. But the symptoms, the oil light doesn't come on until you hit about halfway. And then once that light comes on, the mistake we make as Americans is we say, oh, well, I don't like the light. I don't like the disease, right? So let's take a piece of black tape and put it over top of the oil light and cover it up. Yeah, you guys laugh because you guys would never do that to your car because it's going to cost what? Way too much money. It's going to blow up your engine, and an engine maybe cost, I think we blew an engine, it was 10 grand, right? About 10 grand? Yeah, you guys blew an engine too, right? So about 10 grand. Like, no, you would never let it do that. But you guys realize when you have high blood pressure, what do? Take a pill. Why? Because you're trying to cover up the symptom. Like, think about that. Like, think about the medical system and how listen, I love doctors. I love nurses. I have family members that are pharmacists. I have people that my dad sold insurance his whole life, okay, most of his life. I love these people. But that system is so stinking stupid and broken, it's not even funny. Like, you guys understand that they have a diagnosis, a name for your disease, because they're trying to do what? They have to be able to bill to an insurance company, right? Have a diagnosis or reason to treat you, and put a treatment plan together so they can give you a drug or medication that the insurance company will pay for as well. And all along, all we're doing is putting a piece of black tape over your oil light and doing nothing about the function that's inside your body. Zero. You guys get that, right? So what you have to understand is that by the time that you get to the symptoms standpoint, your body's already been in a state of dysfunction. The symptoms don't show up until late in the process. So what I'm going to talk about today is, well, how do you get the body functioning before the dysfunction gets to the point of symptoms, right? But if you are in a symptomatic state, how do we actually get it out of that symptomatic state and get function there so we take it all the way to a proper functioning standpoint? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Got a little too excited, sorry. Okay, so this is our approach, okay? At Max Living, here's our approach. Our approach is yes, chiropractic, because nervous system, nutrition, mindset, oxygen, exercise, and minimizing your toxins. Now, mindset is everything. I'm going to talk a lot about mindset today. Okay, the reason why I made the changes was a mindset shift. Okay, you have to make a choice and decision today. So when you see the supplements that I'm going to show you guys today that are going to help you with your metabolic process and repairing your tissues and everything else, it's important for you to actually make that decision or choice to go down that pathway. The foods I'm going to teach you guys today, those of you that aren't taking care of your spine properly, whether it's you've never been to a chiropractor or you're here, but you're not doing the home stretches and exercises that you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to teach you guys the things you need to do, but you have to make that mindset shift and understand, and this is one of the keys, is you have to understand that you're never too old. Did you hear even what Madison said? She kind of started thinking at her young age, already started thinking, well, maybe this is just what happens when I get older. Like that's what we've been taught along the way. Well, this is just what's supposed to happen. And so I'm going to help you guys understand that this is a different approach. This is about personal responsibility. Your insurance company does not care about this process. You guys understand? Your insurance company doesn't care about moving you this direction. Okay? Neither do most of your primary care physicians. If they do, they're typically no longer doctors anymore because they get kicked out or fired because they're doing too much to help people, right? Because it's not in that process. It's not in that process. That's what the other problem's been in the last 2 years, is that you guys have seen people that have went into the hospitals have been damaged because they've been given wrong protocols. And you guys know all the whisperings of this. They're trying to cover the stuff up, but it's the wrong protocols because they have to stick in the protocols. Otherwise, they get kicked out of the system as well. So 88% of Americans suffer some kind of metabolic disease, don't even know that it's happening. So that's the majority of Americans have this stuff already happening inside your body, don't even know that it's happening on a regular basis. And so part of the warning signs of it, again, warning signs are just basically more symptoms. That's all it is. Fatigue, thyroid issues, suppressed appetite, cold hands and feet, low libido, PMS, bloating, anxiety, depression, hair loss, brittle nails, insomnia, infertility, irritability, obesity. Again, these are a list of all the symptoms and signs that your body's going down a metabolic pathway that it's not working properly. So if you start to realize these things, and again, before you get to the symptomatic spot, some of you guys are already in the dysfunction area with no symptoms, but your body's moving that way. Bless you. So here's some of the disruptors, and I'm going to get into like some of the things that are causing these things, just a brief, because I'm going to go really more in depth after the break here. But this is the metabolism disruptors that are out there. Some of you guys know what some of these things are. Some of you guys, we're going to have to dive deeper on some of these things, but I just want to give you an overview first. So there's toxins, there's disruptors everywhere in our daily life. BPAs, dioxin, atrazine, phthalates, percolates, fire retardants, lead, arsenic, I think it's supposed to be mercury, PFCs. Have mercy. Glycol ethers. So these things are in everything. Like, you guys, a lot of these things are in actually the vaccines. Some of these things are in the masks that they're giving out at these stores that they're telling you to wear. Like, isn't it crazy? Like, this stuff's everywhere. It's in our drinking containers. It's in our dry cleaners. It's in our cleaners. It's in everything. And it's scarier that there's never been a time in history that there's been more endocrine and metabolism disruptors than there is right now. We have more chemicals than ever before than it has ever been on the face of the planet because we keep just creating more and more. There's 3 times a day that you probably are putting chemicals in your body or toxins, okay? You guys eat 3 times a day, right? The standard American diet is high in fat, sugar, and fast, like ultra fat processed foods. Like, we are inundated with just bad foods on a regular basis. It's everywhere. And we've normalized it. That's the thing, is we've normalized these things along the way. And so, and I'm going to get more into the normalization of these things, but when you're putting chemicals in your body on a daily basis, of course it's not going to function. You know, no wonder we're the leading country in industrialized nations about we're the sickest country in the industrialized nations that are out there. Out of the 37 top richest countries, we're number 37. We're dead last. And it should be it's no mistake. Again, remember what I said before, your bank account is your bank account, right? Your health is your health, your weight, your scale is your scale. There's no mistake. There's not a mistake. You're not there we're not there at 37 out of 37 for no reason. We're there for a reason, right? So obesity continually rises and rises. And this is crazy. You know, I used to say this slide and I just kind of used to pass over it because I was fatter. I was bigger. And people are like, oh, you weren't that big. But isn't that so true though? We've normalized that. Like when I tell people I've lost 47 pounds, they're like, oh man, you look great. That's amazing. Oh, but you looked fine before. But we normalize those things, right? And it wasn't even really about the weight for me. What it was about is like, are you truly healthy? Is your body really truly doing what it's supposed to do? And that was just a sign, an outward sign that my body wasn't functioning the way that it's supposed to function. Does that make sense to you guys? And so we've actually normalized everything. You guys see this body positivity. Are we normalizing these things? You guys see the magazines that are showing up that these people are beautiful. And listen, as God's people, I think all people are beautiful. We all have our things. And I don't judge anybody where they're at, right? You guys understand that. But here's the thing is you have to start to understand is when we start to normalize these things, we say, no, it's okay. It's fine. You have heart disease? Yeah, that's fine. It's normal. Oh, you have cancer? Oh, that's fine. It's normal. Oh, you have thyroid disease? Yeah, that's fine and normal. Like, oh, you have a little bit extra weight on you. That's normal. We've normalized these things in our country. And because we want to make sure that everybody feels accepted, but it's not even really about acceptance. It's just like we've normalized these things to the point that we're like, these things are not normal, right? Like if you walk through Central Park in the middle of the night, right? If you get mugged, that's not a normal thing. You shouldn't get mugged, right? But it's a common thing, right? I mean, you guys understand it's common, but it's still not normal. There's a difference between common and normal, right? These things are very, very common right now, but that doesn't make it okay. And so, and you know what? Fine for everybody else that's not in this room right now. But you guys get to make a choice and decision today to do something different about that, right? That's what it's going to be for you guys today is you got to make a choice and decision to say, okay, that's fine, but I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore for me. Like today, I'm gonna battle you guys a little bit on this, okay? You guys are gonna fight me a little bit on this, and we're gonna have to lock the doors, especially when I talk about not drinking alcohol. Keisha's locking the door right now. I see the alcohol ones got some of you guys, right? Including half my staff. They're not listening. So 95% of all fad diets fail. Any guesses why? Why do the fad diets fail? Not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable and it's not a true lifestyle change. It's a quirky, try this, drink cayenne and maple syrup and honey or lemon or whatever that crap is, right? Like just do it. Just do it. It's great. I lost 30 pounds. It's awesome. It's amazing. And then you do it and you lose 10 and then you gain 15, right? It's like, that's how it goes. It's because it's yo-yo because you're not really fixing anything. It's not a true lifestyle change. Your metabolism never quits. It actually is still going when you're at rest. In fact, there's some in the last 4 months, there are some nights that when I slept more, I actually lost more at night. And it wasn't even really necessarily about the weight, but it's about the metabolism of your body. When at rest, the amazing thing about this, I'm going to go into this. So I love this about a bigger, longer class. I can go wherever I want to. You have this inborn intelligence inside of you, okay? So all living things have this innate intelligence inside of it. So like a plant, if I take a plant and turn it away from the light, the plant's going to do what? It wants to turn. Why? Because it wants to survive. It wants to live. We have that inside of us, but it's way more complex, right? And so what's amazing about inside of our bodies is that this innate inborn intelligence knows exactly how to fix things within inside of our body. God didn't make a mistake. I've got a buddy that's got a website. He says it's called God Doesn't Make Junk, right? Because he doesn't. He made it right. We're the ones that mess it up. We've said this in chiropractic for years. It says God doesn't make junk. And it says God doesn't need help, just no interference. God doesn't need our help. He just needs us to not screw it up, basically is what it is, right? And so really, it's the same thing. When you have this inborn intelligence that your body's trying to heal, but you also have this educated mind. You have this educated mind that says, okay, I'm watching CNN or I'm watching Fox and I need to get the jab and I need to get the jab and the jab and another, I got to get another jab, okay, because we're trying to over-educate this thing. We're trying to fix what God already designed properly and perfectly in our world, right? Like we've went through way worse viruses and diseases that way worse than this. The Spanish flu was way worse than this. And it wasn't even, I'll get there too. Okay, so, but it was way worse than this. And yet we think that, what, did God forget to put a mask on our face, or did he forget to put some kind of chemical in our body to fool us? Like, and I get it. Like people always say to me, yeah, but he also made us to make roads, to make things better and everything like that. I get all that stuff, right? But he made us perfectly. Your body knows how to heal and fight these things. You have this inborn intelligence, but our educated mind is what screws things up. We think we know better. And that's in every aspect of our life, by the way. I'm not just talking health right now, okay? And so what happens is when you sleep, the educated mind actually goes to sleep. And your innate intelligence, that inborn intelligence, is allowed to be able to heal you so much faster. If a deer gets hit by a car and breaks a leg, they go lay in a hole. They don't eat for 2 or 3 days or whatever it is, and they just go into a coma-ish type of sleep, and they'll lay there as their body heals, because when you take away all other processes and focus in on your body just healing, it's amazing. That's what sleep does for us on a regular basis. It repairs. So some of you guys are missing probably some sleep along the way too. So me too. So breathing, circulating blood, digesting food, growing and repairing cells, managing hormone levels, regulating body temperatures, that's what sleep is. So fire up your metabolism. If you've said this, I can't lose weight because I have a slow metabolism. It's not even about that. It's just about a functional aspect of it. But here's some of the things that you can do to start to get the energy back to your cells that are inside your body. If you want a better metabolism, basically what you have to do is you have to start to begin better habits. Your habits that you've been doing have created the metabolism that you currently have, okay? So in order to move in the right direction, you have to do something different. You can't do the same stuff and expect different outcomes. Does that make sense? Okay, so here we go. So metabolism boosting foods. Here's some of the boosting foods that are out there. It's not Sour Patch Kids, by the way. It's not Sour Patch Kids, by the way. So I know Denny too well. Okay, so broccoli's a big one. Okay, and again, this is not a magic food, right? I mean, it's like these are God-given foods. These are foods that we're supposed to be eating on a regular basis. Salmon, again, it's where it's raised, though. Okay, you do not want farm-raised salmon at all. I mean, you do not want any chemicals in your salmon. You don't want any colorings in your salmon, nothing like that. You want it as fresh as you possibly can. Berries are great. They're high in antioxidants. Ginger is a great for appetite control. Green tea, lemon, and almonds. Okay, these are all like really strong metabolic foods that you guys can put in your body on a regular basis. Now, I'm going to go through all this stuff, and I'll get you guys a list and everything like that. I just want to give you guys an idea. Okay, so what happens is, and what's really fascinating to me is that not all calories are the same. So protein calories, okay, why protein's good for your body is because when you put protein calories in, they're not the same as carbohydrate calories. To burn the same amount of calories of protein as you do for carbohydrates, your body has to use 30% more energy, almost 30% more energy than it does to be able to process or digest the carbohydrates. So basically what that means is that when you put proteins in your body has to bring up this thermal effect of itself, has to burn stuff on the inside, and it takes more energy. So that's how you can burn calories as you're putting them in along the way. A calorie is not just a calorie. Like a plate of broccoli and a scoop of peanut butter, they might have the same 200 calories in it, but it's way different nutritional values for both of those things, okay? So one of the things that you want to start to think about as you're starting to understand and as you go through this little process that we're going to challenge you on here in a second. Did you guys know that we have a 30-day challenge that goes with this? Did you guys bring your running shoes? We're going to start right now. So big thing is that you want to start thinking about when you put food in your body, you want to know, have you guys ever eaten and then like half an hour later still felt hungry? It's typically because there was no nutrient value in that food that you just put in your body. And that's what happens to us. Then we get hungry and keep overeating because we never put good nutrients into our body. That's part of the issue here. And so calories, not just a calorie along the way. More muscle you have, the higher the metabolic rate that you have inside your body, okay? So the more muscle you have, the more you burn. So like last night, okay, I'm gonna surprise you guys here. I ate a pizza last night, okay? Ooh, right, it's cauliflower crust. Okay, so no, it's not pizza. It's been my pizza for the last 4 months though. But I ate the whole pizza. It wasn't that big, as bad like that. But I can get away with it now because my body is at a different metabolic rate than it was 4 months ago. I mean, I could wake up and still get on the Peloton and go for a run or whatever it is for 75 minutes or whatever I did this morning. I could still do that. Why? Because my body's muscle composition has completely changed in the last 4 months. And so that muscle is everything to be able to burn metabolic rate. I'm going to get into my story a little bit. I'm going to talk about before and afters. I hated sharing this. I'll share it with you guys. I hate sharing this because I hate the picture on the left. That was me less than a year ago, but that was still me about 5-6 months ago. And that's me on the right. If you guys didn't know, that's me, both me. What's that? My younger brother, I shaved my beard like all the way down like a couple weeks ago, and my daughter's like, put it back on. Like she didn't like it. She like I look like a younger version of me too as well. So, but here's my story, and I want to help you guys understand this. I can't even tell you guys how many times I went to a class like this, taught a class like this, wrote in my journal, put on my board at home, my vision board, lose 20 pounds. I can't even tell you. Have you guys ever done this too? Like kept writing it every single time. You're just like, already, like, let's just do this already, right? And you never do it, right? And so, I never did it for probably 10, 12 years. I had that as one of my goals. Keep doing this stuff, keep doing this. And I just never did it. And so it was, my story was about 4 months ago, one of my best friends, he had a lot of mental issues that he's been dealing with, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, addictions, some porn addictions, some drug addiction, alcohol addictions. And he's like, do this thing with me. It's called 75 Hard. Okay, have you guys heard of this? It's 75 Hard, right? It's not an erectile dysfunction class. My buddy dared me to say that, so I told him I'd say it. Apparently, $5 still means a lot to me. Those are bet. It's this guy's named Andy Frisella. He actually did this program about 2-3 years ago, wrote a book with it and everything like that. And it's just about rebooting your brain, right? And rebooting your brain. And we actually modified what I'm going to show you guys next, the 30-day challenge that we have, the Max Living 30-day challenge, is going to be a version of that. But you guys are lucky. You guys can do it in 30 days instead of 75 days. And so basically what it was for me is I told him flat out, I said, no, I don't want to do it. And then I called him the next day and I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And my reasoning for it, and he said this to me, he says, don't do it if you don't want to do it. And my reasoning is I'm like, you know what? I've written it how many times. It's time for me to finally become the leader that I'm supposed to be. It's finally time for me to stop telling people what they should do and not doing it myself. And it's, listen, this guy over here, I could manufacture energy. I was happy all the time. I'm like, I was constantly happy. I had great energy. I could manufacture energy. But this guy on the right here, though, man, the energy's through the roof. My thoughts, my things that I can get done now, like I can get so much more done. I used to get a lot of stuff done. Anyways, I'm able to do so many more things now because of what I've become and what I've done. So this is what 75 Hard was. It's 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. You got to drink a gallon of water every single day. Read 10 pages because you're filling your mind. Okay. Stick to some kind of nutrition plan. So I did the core plan because I didn't think for 75 days I could do the advanced plan, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. Core plan is just basically eating God foods on a regular basis, right? And no cheat meals and no alcohol. So I lock that door, Keisha. You know what's crazy though is that when I said no at first, the first thing that happened when you say no, and when I show you guys your plan that you guys can do, if you choose, I can't force you, right? If you choose to do it, I promise you in 30 days from now, you're going to be a complete different person than where you are right now. You will change habits. You will change your metabolism, your body. Things will change for you drastically if you do this. I promise you this. I've done it. I lived it. I mean, after 30 days, I was a completely different person already. These guys can tell you this. And so what happened is before you make a decision like that, what automatically goes in your head? What's your excuses?
Can I stick to it?
Do I have the time? What?
Can I stick to it?
Can I stick to it? I don't think I can give up alcohol, let alone crack. I'm just kidding. No, like I can get rid of these excuses, huh? Super Bowl's next week, right? Right? Vacation's coming up. Our anniversary's coming up. Right? This is what goes through your head. St. Patrick's Day, President's Day, right? Black History Month. I drink the whole month, you know. So Valentine's Day, Monday. But what about Fridays? Yep, pretty much. But what I did is I for number one, I did it for a bigger reason because I said I would support him and do it with him. Okay, but that's not enough. But doing it with other people also is super helpful, right? Doing it for other people, doing it for my family, right? Doing it for my team that I'm leading, doing it for you guys that are patients, for my doctors that I have out there. Like I can't even tell you, like after it's been 120 days. We went to this last seminar, and it's just like I had people that have been like, when you go to our seminars, it's fascinating. Like everybody's so stinking fit, right, Michaela? Like Nani, I mean, everybody's like so fit there. It's like ridiculous. I can't even tell you how many people came up to me at the end and said, "You've inspired me to want to work out more." And I'm like, "You're already rock, like you got abs and everything." Like I would like how does this even do it? But what happens is when you start doing these things, you become a better version, not even better version, you become the version that God designed of you, right? What we've done is we've normalized sickness and disease. We've normalized eating crappy. We've normalized feeling bad, being sick. We've normalized these things to the point in our country that we're just okay being mediocre. And that's a problem. When I was in Israel 7 years ago, we had a pastor, Joel Rosenberg, if you guys ever heard of him, he's an author. He came and spoke to us. Everybody was so excited about Joel Rosenberg coming to speak to us. And I'm like, is he a big deal or something? I had no clue. He spoke to like 20 of us on a pool deck. And one thing he said, he goes, the problem with Americans is because he had just moved to Israel. He said, the problems with Americans is your greatest problem is that comfort and safety are your idols. Like, think about that. How true is that? Comfort and safety. We don't like to be uncomfortable. Like, that's why we just kind of go with the flow with what's happened in the last few years. We just kind of been like, as long as it doesn't get me too much out of my comfort and safety, I'm okay. I'll bend a little bit. I'll bend a little bit more. I'll bend a little bit more. And next thing you know, we're doing things that we don't want to do. If you were to put the two things side by side, you guys realize we're doing things that we don't want to do. And so I lost track. So as I start going through it, I asked a buddy that had gone through it. I said, what are my tips? He goes, listen, he goes, first week, you're drinking a gallon of water a day. He goes, don't trust a fart, is what he said. That's the first thing he said, because you're going to be drinking a lot more water than you used to. Second thing that he said, get your outside workout in early in the morning. He goes, because you don't want to be doing burpees in your driveway at 10:30 at night in the rain. So you got to start. So again, he gave me tips to understand that I'm like, okay, I know that Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming up. I know I'm going to be with my brother that I haven't had a drink with in forever. And I know that I'm still going to stick to this thing because this is just who I am now, right? So I made the choice. This is what it is that you have to make the choice or the decision that there's no going back. It's like burning the plows, right? I'm not going to go back to that life. It's like burning the boats. Like, there's a story about this battle where they went to an island and they burned the leader burned all the boats. And the guys are like, why'd you burn our boats? We have no way off here. He goes, I know. He goes, that way you have to freaking win. Like, that's what has to happen. You have to make a choice and decision to say, I'm not going to go back. And some of you guys, I know that's a little extreme. Some of you guys need to be that extreme in your head. Some of you guys, it's just got to be like, yeah, you know what? Those Sour Patch Kids, I just got to stop, right? Or whatever it is, okay? So more energy, more clarity. I will tell you this. Day 10 in there was fascinating to me. I realized the addictions that I had had for so long started melting away. Like, I can't, when you're drinking that much water, you don't want to drink anything else. Like, I love like flavored coffee drinks. I love sodas. I love all this kind of, I don't drink those things very often anymore because it's just like that, those addictions are completely gone. And the addiction to eating crummy foods, right, that have bad oils in it and stuff like that, that was completely gone. So you will break these addictions. It's like you have chains being lifted off of you. I promise you this. But you have to commit to it. And when you commit to it, you will have massive changes along the way. I promise that. Any questions about that? You will lose addictions and you will start to detox yourself the proper way. And your mind's going to be clear. You're going to get better sleep. You're going to have better energy. You're going to start to see sickness and disease start to melt away. Because again, what are you doing? I'm not doing this. I didn't do this because I wanted to have less symptoms. I'm doing this because I want to have the most function you possibly can. And when you start functioning this way, this is what starts to change your life, is when you start to go this pathway. Any questions? Here's your challenge. Yes, Daryl.
Yes, what about family support when you're going down that journey?
So good, right? It's helpful along the way. That's why you need to employ the people. I'm going to talk, that's my last slide of the whole thing, is make sure that you employ the people around you. Get people that are going to support you along the way, that are going to support your whole mission of what you're trying to do. And again, you're going to have the friends. By the way, you're going to have friends around you that are going to try to pull you the other way. I knew that. I knew that when I went and taught seminars, that I have buddies that are going to want me to go drinking with them. I know that. But I knew that was going to happen. So in my mind, I knew that was coming. Okay. So if you want to do this 30-day challenge, you guys don't have to take a picture of this. You guys can text this number right here, 704-540-0055. So just text the word 30 day, and you will get this slide. And you will also opt in to get information from Michaela and Nani. They're going to feed stuff to you guys along the way, some encouragement. And Michaela's going to come up at the end of after the break and talk about our Facebook page that we're going to help to support you. Okay. Listen, if the hardest thing is for you to pull out the phone and just text that, 30 days put together, no space, 30 day, 30 day. Yeah. Text that number. I don't know what that was. So let me give you the breakdown of this so you guys get an idea. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more. So it's one protein shake. So you break your fast. You break your fast in the morning with a protein shake, okay? Or whatever shake you guys want to. But protein is key with the morning because you want to break your fast with good nutrients and with something that's going to burn high calories that's thermogenic like protein, okay? So that's one of the things. Then you're going to want to have 2 advanced plan meals a day. Advanced plans are God foods. This is getting rid of the sugary foods, the rices, the grains, even though, listen, God made rices and stuff like that and the grains and everything like that. But we want to, for this 30 days, get rid of those things to help your body start to decrease inflammation and start to get the metabolism back on track, okay? Even some fruits. So like bananas and like oranges and stuff like that, those are not part of the advanced plan. And the reason why they're not is because they have high sugar. You guys know, when you guys eat a red apple and a green apple, what's the difference? The green apple's what? It's sour because it has less sugar. So Granny Smith apple is okay on this. And again, this is 30 days. This is not, I get it, God food, innate eating, your body's supposed to get it, but you're trying to rebalance and reboot your body is what you're trying to do here. 30 days, that's it. It's so easy. I promise you, you can drink all you want to on day 31, okay? There'll be something to celebrate then, okay? I promise you that. But you probably aren't going to want to if you get there. Do you have a question?
What if you don't want to lose weight?
What if you don't lose weight? This is not about losing weight. That's what's beautiful about this. This is about rebooting your metabolism. We've had people that have had problems keeping weight on that do this plan and they start to gain weight. Why? Because you reboot your metabolism. Remember, I said this from the beginning. Rebooting your metabolism is not about you losing weight. It's about doing what? Getting better function in your body. And if your body's losing weight because you have something wrong with it, right? You want to get the body working again and it will do what it's supposed to do. I promise you that. It'll go through what it's supposed to do. Half your body weight in ounces of water, okay? So if you weigh 200 pounds, you have 100 ounces of water to drink a day. If you're 140, you do 70, okay? Pretty simple, pretty easy. Water is huge. Adjustments in home care, okay? Make sure you stay steady during this 30 days with your adjustments. If you're not a patient, if you're a guest and you're here local and you don't live at Marshall, I will help you find somebody where you're at if you're not here local, but if you're here, we're going to give you an opportunity to be able to come get checked up in our office because adjustments, Madison's story, right? Get the metabolism going. I mean, think about that. She could have went the rest of her life trying to figure out what's wrong with me. She starts getting adjusted because of neck pain and back pain at Dr. Bree's office and completely changes everything. So no alcohol, no cheat meals, and read 10 pages of reading every single day. I'll go through this quickly for you guys. So the 30-day challenge, this is a key. It's commitment, okay? That you burn the bridges, you burn the boats, you burn the plows. There's no going back. I'm moving forward, okay? 45-minute workout. So what you do with the workouts, I highly recommend that you do this early in the day. Now, some people want to break it up into 2 workouts. I'm fine with that. If you want to do higher intensity workouts, some of you guys do HIIT workouts, 25-minute workouts, 20-minute workouts, whatever it is. I'm okay with that. But you still want 45 minutes of working out every single day, okay? It's not hard. Like your first excuse is like, how am I going to find the time? I'm still 140 days in, still doing 42 45-minute workouts a day, still to this day. Now, do I have to get up earlier? Yeah, I mean, I have to get up earlier, but it's planned. I have to do it. Like when I travel, I still know, like 2 weeks ago when I drove down to Orlando at a rest stop in Georgia somewhere, I went for a 45-minute run. Like I would have never done that before, but being committed to something means you're committed to something. You guys get that? And so committing to that 45-minute workout's huge. It's going to help start to get the metabolisms more aligned, get the hormones actually aligned. Advanced plan. So on this one, actually that same number, if you want the grocery store list on like what advanced plan is, most of you guys should have the either the Green Nutrition book or the Align Your Health book. Both of those books have the advanced plan in it. If you have the books from us, it has this information in it. And Michaela is going to be your resource. She's holding up the Align Your Health book. Some of you guys, it might be at the bottom of your bag underneath your home care that you haven't taken out of your bag. Oh, can you bring it up front? Run it up here so they can all see it.
Wasn't in my bag. Really fast.
That's pretty slow actually for you. So this is the book, okay? Now we're coming up with a smaller booklet that everybody's going to be getting here. And so is this your book or is this ours? Okay, there you go. Yeah. She said she didn't get in her bag. So what happens is that the advanced plan is God foods, okay? And basically what it is that it's going to help you burn fat, detox your body, reduce inflammation, and it's going to balance your hormones. Now, here's the grocery store list for this, okay? So the same, I'm going to get this to you guys. The same number, 704. Don't take a picture. You're going to get this. 704-540-0055. Okay, that same number. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to text the word advanced, and you'll get the grocery store list for this. A is a capital A. Sorry. Nani's trying to work on that. A capital A. Just text that word. If you just text the same number, advanced. 704-540-0055. So if I have to show you that number, that means that you didn't opt in on the 30-day. That's what that means. So I know who you are. Busted. Okay. So type the word advanced, and that way you can get this grocery store list. Michaela's passion is helping you guys with this. Like, nothing makes her happier than seeing people get on track with this type of stuff. Okay. And so you are going to have help. You're going to have resources. We're going to send you some texts. We're going to have a Facebook page. Everybody have Facebook in here, right? Pretty much. Everybody. I can post. You just can't see it. That's great. That's perfect timing. Those for you in the audience, somebody said everybody but me. Adrian said everybody but me. I still have it, but I'm just posting to myself now these days. Like, I posted something yesterday and like 3 people liked it. Like, I have like thousands of followers and like 3 people liked it. I'm like, did nobody see this, or is it that bad of a post? What's wrong here? What's wrong with me? It's really hit my ego really hard. I'm just kidding. All right, lock the doors, Keisha. No cheat meals, no alcohol. Okay? Grumblings. Okay? The one thing for me, like when I went out with friends during this time, my go-to was soda water with lime. Okay. What's fascinating about it is that just being in an environment and still drinking something, you still I maybe it's me hallucinating. I still feel like it's the same thing, right? So and it's all a mindset thing, unless you're really trying to get messed up, right? So you got to drink a lot of soda waters to get really messed up here. So it is all about the glass. You're right. So I kept doing it in shots and it wasn't working. Drinking water. So people ask me, what was the hardest thing about 75 Hard? It was drinking the gallon of water every single day. Do you guys know how many ounces? It's 128 ounces. Like that's like 4 of these, right? 4 of these full to the top. And that was the hardest thing for me, because if I don't drink 2 of these before lunch, I'm hosed, because I mean, like, my day is like trying to put water in my body. But what's fascinating about it is water is so cleansing to your body. We need it. And we put other things in there, okay? Alcohol, coffee, all these other things in our body. And what happens is I didn't have the cravings for anything else when I knew I had to put that much water in my body. And you know what happened? My skin started clearing up. Literally my skin started clearing up. You could tell like right away. Like, this is fascinating what starts to happen when you start to put good stuff in your body. Water is so huge. And so you want to drink half your body weight in ounces. So if you're 140 pounds, you want to drink 70 ounces in a day, okay? You'd be in the bathroom all day. Listen, at the beginning, I was in the bathroom. It does start out that way. You're right. No doubt about it. Like, I mean, this might be TMI. My first trip down to Orlando, because I don't fly. I love flying, by the way, but I don't comply. If you guys understand what that means, I think sorry if you work in the airport, the most oppressive place in the whole wide world right now is the airport, because of all the rules, all the masks. I just feel like it hurts my soul to be in those places. And so if I can drive it, I'm driving it right now. And I've driven to Orlando probably 16, 17 times in the last 2 years. And I do it. But the first day, as I started drinking all the water, I made the biggest mistake in the whole wide world. It's like I had to stop like every 20 minutes, because I'm still trying to down a gallon of water, but it's got to go somewhere, right? So, and a catheter, or the big water bottles. Your home care is crucial. So home care is crucial. I get the jokes. So Your home care. Some of you guys don't know what this is. It's in your bag that's in the corner after you got home, after you signed up for care. Okay, so this is the stuff that you should be doing on a daily, regular basis. Why? Because our technology and our lives, like everything that we do, it takes and causes damage to our spine and our nerve system. See, the thing is, and if you guys don't have some of this stuff because you guys have been patients for a really long time, see my staff. What's that thing? So if you don't notice something up here, we got new stuff. Okay, so if you're new, you should have all. What are you missing? This one, that's for your door traction is what it's for. And some people you have that on there. Do they not sell them with it anymore? The door traction, the blocks.
Oh, it comes on there already.
What's that? Okay, so some of them have a block on it that's just a padding to push it out from the door a little bit further. Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it. I used it without it for years. So it's a fancy thing. So this one, these are wedges for your hips. Okay. Yep. So here's what's crucial is that what causes your spine to go out of alignment. Okay. So if you're new here, your brain and spinal cord control everything that's inside your body, right? Your brain and spinal cord are the connecting pieces for your innate intelligence, that inborn intelligence. It's the adaptability factor. It's bigger than anything else that you have in your body. It controls everything. But what happens is your spine, if it goes out of alignment, it starts to affect. So I like to call it, it's like a guitar string. When you have a guitar and you finely tune it and you pluck it, it makes a beautiful sound, right? But if you tighten it too much or loosen it too much, you pluck it, it makes an awful noise. The spinal cord needs to be in a certain tension and tone, okay? It's electric, okay? There's vibrations that are going through your spinal cord that communicate both from your brain to your body, but your body back to your brain. Your body to your brain, because it's trying to tell your brain if something's wrong. If you have cancer, heart disease, diabetes, you have something wrong with your body, metabolic disorders, if you have that, your body's trying to tell your brain, but if that connection's not proper, then your body can't heal. Just like medicine, doing all the right things, but the connection wasn't there, right? So what ends up happening is that on a day-to-day basis, we have stresses in our life. And in chiropractic, we try to call these things three T's: traumas, thoughts, and toxins. Okay? Traumas are physical things, how we sit, slips and falls, car accidents, technology, all those things. That's also, the thoughts are emotional stressors, okay? Emotional stressors are thoughts. None of you guys have emotional stress, right? You ever see a kid yelled at? You're never gonna amount to any good, yelled at, talked down to on a regular basis? How do they walk around? Like this? Nope, their posture starts to do this. You guys know that when we're emotionally stressed, we start to lose our posture. And then so there's physical stress, there's emotional stress, and the last one is chemical stress. We've been talking a lot about chemicals already today. One of the worst spines I've ever seen in my life was a 19-year-old girl. She had the spine of an 85-year-old lady, degenerated so far that you're like, she had almost no disc spaces left in her spine. And the reason why is I asked the parents, I'm like, did she have some kind of massive fall? What's wrong with her? How'd she get here? She's taking some kind of medications? No. Finally, she says to me, I pulled the 19-year-old girl aside when parents were gone. I'm like, you got to tell me, are you taking some kind of medications your parents don't know about? And she said, I just got to let you know, please don't tell my parents. I've been addicted to ecstasy for the last 5 years. Ecstasy is a street drug, and it was rotting her spine away from the inside. So we all have thoughts, traumas, and toxins. We have those things that we're inundated with on a day-to-day basis. What the home stuff is all about, it's about making sure that you can kind of mitigate some of those things that are happening on your day-to-day basis. If you're on a phone and computer all day long, this is about mitigating that stuff along the way. It's also about helping your spine keep moving on the days that you're not here in the office. So home care is crucial for this. Reading, 10 pages a day. This is so huge. Who reads on a regular basis? Who reads good stuff? Good, I'm just kidding. Facebook does not count. Here's my other thing. With reading 10 pages a day, some of you guys need to get off social media. If I can't be on there, you shouldn't be on there. I'm just kidding. You guys, listen, I've taken breaks along the way, and I actually took a 2-year break from the news media, CNN, Fox News, all that stuff. I stopped listening to all this stuff and the noise that's out there. In fact, anybody around me, I don't even want to hear what's going on. I honestly really don't want to hear what's going on. That's how bad some of this stuff is for you guys. And some of you guys know it. You guys get so inundated with that social media stuff. You guys got to get rid of it. Some of you guys just got to get rid of it for the 30 days. Maybe that's one of the things you can add to this 30-day challenge is like, just get off of social media, you know? And so 10 pages of reading a day, not audiobooks either. I know you're going to cheat. I know you're going to say,
It's the same thing.
no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You can do the audiobooks too, okay? But take
20 pages of audio.
no, because you're listening at 1.5. That's why you can't do it. So a physical book. Read a book. Remember books? Okay, so read books. Yeah. You can use your Kindle. I don't care. I use my Kindle like on a regular basis because I get in a pinch where I'm like take the kids to volleyball practice or something like that, and I want to get my pages in, so I just pull out my Kindle and I read there. So I'll always have that with me. But yes, physically reading is so huge. I can't even tell you. You've got to have that. You've got to have those moments, those times where you get a chance to just pause. I promise you, it changes. It'll improve your memory. Have you guys noticed that some of you guys' memories are going downhill? Like, it's because of technology, right? You know what else? I bet you, I'd be willing to bet that most of us can't spell in this room anymore either because of autocorrect, right? I still can't spell restaurant. I don't know how. So that's the one, right? And there's some things my phone won't let me say that I want to say. I don't understand that. Here's the books. You want stuff that's gonna lift you up and fill you up, okay? So no unless you need it. It's because he's eating all the sugar patch. So he needs to do 75 hard. So what happens here is yes, it has to be something that you want to do something that's going to fill you up. I love anything that's going to talk about, like right now I'm reading 3 different books. One's Untethered Soul. It's actually about removing subluxation. So subluxation is misalignment of the spine that cuts down that blocks your nerve system from working inside your body. Untethered Soul is about becoming more of who you were designed to be. It's about the things you guys know, like right now as you're thinking in your head, and when you have a thought that pops in, sometimes that thought says, oh, no way in heck you should ever do that thing that you want to do. And then the other side of your brain saying, yeah, you should do that. You have this constant battle here. That's what this talks, it talks about, that blocking energy in your life. And so I love books like that are going to be more in line. I'm also reading, I just read Andy Stanley's book, Visioneering. Very good book about Nehemiah, amazing about God's visions in your life and stuff like that. So pick out something that's going to fill you up, because you need good things, because of the world is not giving you good stuff along the way. So progress picture. Yes.
What you were saying with the protein shake.
Yeah.
Before the workout or after?
So for me, I typically do it after. I do it later. I like to get my workout right away, first thing. Okay.
I can do it on empty stomach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I always work out on an empty stomach. Yeah. 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 You're also supposed to not swim for like a half an hour. I don't know why our parents told us that, so there is a reason, kind of, but progress pics. So I highly recommend daily progress pics, but what this challenge is calling for is just once a week. So pick like the first day of the week, Monday or Sunday. I don't care whatever your first day of the week is, take your picture. And the reason why is sometimes the scale is not going to tell you the full story. You guys have been there before where the scale just didn't change, right? And you get mad. Progress pics are great from this standpoint. If you could see the progression of my pics over the course of the last 140 days, it's fascinating. Like because I look at that person in the mirror constantly, I don't see the change from day to day. But then I have patients that come in and say, what the heck have you saw me? You're like, who are you? Like what have you done, right? So, because she comes on Wednesdays all the time, so I don't ever get a chance to see her. And so she's like, what have you done? And so patients have been asking me that the whole time. And I'm like, I just started doing what I've been teaching you guys for the last 20 years. I started actually doing that stuff, so, but the pictures along the way are just super fascinating to start to look back and realize that you've made progress. And so, we're human beings still. We like to see progress along the way. Pics are a good way to be able to do this. I also think it's great from an accountability standpoint. Like having to take a picture of myself every single day made me accountable. It's just another thing that I had to check a box for. It made me diligent in just doing the stuff in order and patterns that I have. I'm actually at a level right now where there's no check boxes for me. Purposely the pattern that I was on. So I did 75 hard. There was 30 days phase 1 afterwards. So I did 30 more days. On day 29, I got sick as a dog. Between Christmas and New Year's, it was a Tuesday. I've not ever canceled coming in on a Tuesday ever since I've known you, Keisha, ever. And I canceled a Tuesday. And so I couldn't physically move. So I didn't work out. Under that program, this guy's so hardcore that he says, if you miss a day, you have to start back over from the beginning. I was 1 day away from being done.
And so I just finished last week. I redid the 30 days, and so I just finished last week. So, but now he has it where, okay, hey, there's no check marks. I just want to see if it's a habit in your life now. And so you've got it. So he's just basically testing you for another 30 days. Are you able to do this stuff? Is it a habit in your life now? Is it a lifestyle, which is what you really want to see. Consume your protein shake and daily supplements. So 1 protein shake and 2 basically advanced plan meals a day is basically what you're looking for. Why the protein shake? It's easy. It's easy. It's complete. Now, if you're vegan, vegetarian, we have the plant version of that. Okay. And then we have also the bone broth version of that as well. And there's a lot of different ways. If you guys don't know how to make your shakes taste good, Michaela can help you with that. She does shakes on a very regular basis and can help you with that. So you consume one, what's that? Throw a Sugar Patch Kids in there, blend them up with it. So there's the perfect plant protein. There's grass-fed protein. Now, remember, the protein burns at a higher level. So that's why it's good to start in the day, because it already gets your metabolism going early in the morning and gets the nutrients. Again, your body's just breaking fast, so you want to put good stuff into it. Now, this part of it, the daily essentials, this is what I did through my 75 hard, just so you guys know. Okay, so like this part of the supplements process, this is by no means is a supplement class. Okay, so if you guys want to purchase this stuff, great. If you guys want help with this, great. That's what they're going to be able to do at the break. They'll help you with this stuff. If you guys don't want to do that, then eat good foods. Okay, but I'm going to tell you guys that there's a lot of nutrients that are missing in our foods, and that I did that in our last class. I went into depth about you guys know, like the nutrients that were in a peach in the 1960s. You guys know how many peaches it would take us to eat right now to get the same nutrients that were in that peach in the 60s? About 45 is what they say. Because, you guys know why? The chemicals are, and the soil depletion, yeah, yep, and genetically modified, all this stuff. So we're just not getting the nutrients. So that's why I'm not a big supplement taker, but I'm a big supplementing my nutrition. I'd rather get it all from the nutrition, the food that I'm putting in my body, but there's just some things that we can't get these days. And if your body's missing it, it can't go through the metabolic process. Now, this stuff who's taken the daily essentials, raise your hand if you already have this stuff. Okay, most of you guys, if you started here, you should be on this. If you're not, this is something that you want to get. And so this is not in the bundle for the metabolic bundle, because we just assume that everybody's on this stuff. So if you need this, grab this too. Do they have a order sheets with them, or do you guys have that? No order sheets? Okay. So what you guys have is that you can get this with the metabolic bundle that has the plant protein or the other bone broth protein in it. I'll show you guys all this stuff. You guys can get that at the break with the ladies at the front or in the side room. Are you guys doing it there, or you guys do it there, or both places? Okay.
The daily essentials program, is that just a regular vitamin?
Yes. So here's what I'm going to tell you what's in the daily essentials. Great question. On the daily essentials, there's these little packets. Do any of you guys have your packets? Any? Yeah, good. Yes, good. So here. Yeah, so they're impossible to get open, by the way. One pet peeve I have with corporate. If I only had a connection there. I know, right? So what I always do is I take a nail clipper and I just put a little split on the side there. So this actually has, there's a women's and a men, okay? What's cool about this is you can take it with you. Somebody get her scissors so she can open this thing. So it's, or your tooth, yeah. So this little one. What I love about this, it has your multi, if you're a woman or a man, okay? It also has D3, B complex, optimal omega, and magnesium glycinate, okay? Now, why it has these things in it, some of you guys have done this. We have another layer of testing, okay? We're big on test, don't guess, okay? So here's what happens is, you see all those supplements on the wall over there? If we went into a vitamin shop right now, we could, hey, can somebody get her a scissors to open this so she doesn't break her tooth on this? I was being serious. She's still trying to get it open. So, all right, here's the deal. All right, listen up. I got a lot to go through still, so pay attention. All those vitamins are good, right? I mean, all those, we know that they're supposed to be in the body for production for metabolism inside the body. We know they're all good. But what you need and what I need are two different things, right? We're all different. We're different sizes, shapes. We're different everything, right? And we're depleted in different ways. So we've done a lot of testing in Max Living. We've done thousands and thousands of tests on people where we do blood and urine on people. And so it's called metabolic testing. Okay. And this is something that Michaela does. Some of you guys have done it already. Some of you guys want to do it. I'm going to give you a chance to give it at the least amount that you can possibly pay for it at the end here, at the end of the class. Yes, great. So if you want to do it, it's going to be the best time to do it. But what the testing does is it finds out what are you depleted. And remember I talked about the Krebs cycle where you put fats, proteins, and carbohydrates in your body, and then it produces energy. If something's wrong in that chemical process there, what happens is it goes wrong because you're deplete in some vitamins. So the majority of people that we test on a regular basis are deplete in the things that are inside of this. This is why these are essentials. Because even if you're eating perfectly, we found when we test somebody that eats perfectly, they're typically missing the things that are inside of this. Do you want this back? Thank you. With your teeth marks on the side there. So does that make sense? So that's why you want to be on the daily essential packet. This is, if you're going to do the basic on this, is the daily essential packet and then the metabolism kickstart bundle. Now this bundle has the detox system, the max greens, and the grass-fed whey or the plant protein if you guys want it, whatever that is. Let me break this down a little bit more. The detox system. Here's what it is. Our body's cells are so toxic that you have this lipid bilayer on the cells in your body. Every cell has these two walls of fat that surround every cell. And did anybody remember this from biology class? Okay. And those two cell walls have these fat cells that line up and they create channels so that your cells can breathe, so they can get the nutrients inside of it, but also so it can get the toxins outside of it. But the standard American diet causes so much inflammation inside of our body that the lipid bilayer means fatty bilayer, 2 layers of it, those lipids become damaged and the channels become blocked. And what happens is, even if you're putting the best food in your body and the cells are damaged, the cell walls are damaged, I don't care, your nutrients aren't going to be able to get in the inside of it. The other thing that happens is, if your cells are producing all these toxicities on the inside, but the lipid bilayer is not creating a channel for it to go through, guess what? It can't get out. The stuff and your cells become auto-intoxicated, become sick and damaged. And when the cells become sick and damaged, that's what turns into metabolic issues like things like cancer and heart disease and diabetes, because it's damaged cells. So I tell people, even before you start taking nutrients, any kind of multis or anything else like that, this is a big piece of healing the cells. And you take a cell detox in the morning and it's a body detox at night to get rid of it out of your body. It's really a 2-step process where in the morning you take the cell detox, and at night you take the body detox that has activated charcoal that actually binds to the toxicities and pulls it out through your waste and your breathing and your sweat and everything else like that. Okay?
How often should you do that?
This is a 30-day process for this one. This 30-day supply.
But if you've already done it,
Here's what my personal belief is. I feel like you should do it probably once a quarter. Once a quarter, you should go through a detox with your body. Now, this is pretty super powerful. And most of us in this room probably need this right now. We have a secondary one that if you want to stay still on a detox through that, it's called what is it called? Cleanse? Max Cleanse. So the Max Cleanse is something you probably should be on a more regular basis if your body's super toxic, if you're putting toxicities in. If you're doing really clean and you're taking care of yourself and you're pretty much not exposing yourself to a lot of chemicals, you probably don't have to worry about it as much. But if you're around things, like let's say you work in a hair salon and you're constantly around chemicals all the time, or there's things that in your environment that you just can't control, that's something you would want to be on more of a detox on a regular basis.
I did that about a
Yeah,
year
you did this about a year ago. It's probably time again. I'm a big fan of doing it like once a quarter. Okay, and so the other one is the Max Greens. The greens are great. So you can add this in our shake. So what we do is we add this in our shake. So we do a scoop of protein, we do a scoop of greens. Yes.
So let's say you work in an environment that you just talked about, and let's say you've been away from it for maybe 60 days or so.
Yeah. I would still clean it. Yeah, I would still clean it. 100%. Yep. Max Greens. Those of you that you can put this in your shake. There's a mixed berry one. There's a chocolate one. In my opinion, I like the chocolate one better than the berry one. So if you guys have tried those, we also have capsules. I just don't like the capsule. I'd rather see you. This has so many fruits and vegetables and so many antioxidants in it. This is why the greens are so good for you. I'm a bigger fan of drinking it than you are even taking it in a pill form. We also have some reason they came out with broccoli in a bottle. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing. If we don't have any on the shelf, do we? Thank God. Don't ever order. If I ever catch you guys ordering it, I'm going to be mad. So it's just stupid. If you feel like you need more help, some of you guys that really have some issues with the metabolism in your body, these are some weight loss add-ons. Again, this is not a weight loss program, but the Metabolics Burn what's good about this is it helps fight cravings. It's also helps promote healthy metabolism and fat loss inside your body, balancing your hormones. And it's because it has vitamins, minerals, and plant extracts that help those things along the way. So this is just an add-on. This is something that's not part of the bundle, but this is something if you just feel like, hey, look, I feel like I need a little bit of extra help. That's what the Metabolic Burn is all for. Any comments on that, Michaela? All right, we're almost to break time. Not quite, but we're almost there. How many people do you guys know that have felt fine and then all of a sudden you find out the next day that they have some kind of major problem going on with their bodies, right? Cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, right? We all have people like that. And so what happens is that most people think that health has to do with how you feel. You guys know it's so different than that. And I talk about this on a regular basis. Most of you guys that have seen your x-rays recently, I've talked about this, is that if this wall is 100%, and as you start to lose the function, what happens is, remember, symptoms, you're already in dysfunction, and then finally symptoms show up here. Out of 100 people that are developing heart disease, how do 90 of them find out they have heart disease typically? When they have a heart attack. How did they feel the day before? They felt fine. 100 people developing cancer, how do they usually find out they have cancer? Usually when it's really late, when they get sick, right? And yet these things have been developing the whole time. Why didn't anybody find this? Why didn't their normal doctor, why didn't their real doctor, right? Why didn't their real doctor find that? Well, the reason is because that's not what that system's built for. Insurance model's not built for that. Diagnosis model, drug model, pharmaceutical model is not built for that. That's not what it's about. This is where I start to talk about, this is why you guys have to take personal responsibility for your own health and for your own life and for your family's life. Because nobody else is talking about this. Like I said on stage last week at the seminar, I'm like, listen, for the first time in history, there are billions of people on this planet that are questioning what they've been doing their whole life. Like, right? I mean, like this last 2 years have taught us that there's people like questioning, like, am I doing the right things right now? And they're looking for leaders or people in their life to help guide them along the way to do proper things to take care of themselves. Well, this is your time, not only just to do this for yourself, but you get a chance to lead your friends and your family members through this. Like, you guys get this. I mean, like, I haven't been to a doctor in 26 years. You know, like, that's not by mistake, right? My family has not been to a doctor. My kids have never been to a doctor ever in their life. Like that's fascinating to some of you guys. You're like, well, how'd they get on this planet? Well, we did home births. Okay, so there's ways, right? There's ways and there's reasons why we did these things. And so what it comes down to is you can't go by how you feel. You have to get that out of your mindset. It's never about how you feel. And so as you start to understand that, so if it's not about feeling, then what is health really about? And if I start asking people, what do you think health is? Then most people say, well, it's got to be what? If it's not about how you feel, then what is it? Performance. Body's what? Function. That's good. I like that. You guys are too educated. You guys, when I typically ask this question, guess what I get? Well, it's probably eating, right? It's probably exercising, right? It's probably all that stuff. So what is it? It's function, right? But what creates that function? Well, people say, well, what about eating right and exercising? Well, okay. I had a 37-year-old girl that came in here, and she had 2 forms of cancer in her body. If you looked at her from the outside, you'd be like, she's healthy, she's fit. There's no way this girl has any kind of problems, just looking at her from the outside. Like, based on what we've been taught, our paradigm about health and healing, right? You're like, this girl has no problems. What you didn't know is she had lung cancer that metastasized and spread to her breasts when she was in college. So she had 2 forms of cancer by the age of 37. Now, here's what our oncologist said. It's because you were a smoker in college, that's why you had lung cancer. So typically what was happening to her is as she took toxins from the cigarette smoke into her lungs weren't able to do what? Get rid of it, reject it, adapt to it. Her lungs clearly were not doing what? Functioning at a level that it could deal with those things. Her body already had dysfunctions in it that it wasn't able, because you guys know people that smoke all the time that don't have any problems with it, right? So the next girl comes in right after that lady. She's 19 years old. Her great-grandpa, that 95-year-old guy that started smoking when he was 15 years old, he smoked for 80 years. And before he died, they did a scan of his lungs to find out how much cancer he had. Guess how much cancer they found? None. Zero. So when he took the toxicities in his lungs were doing what? They were functioning at a level that it needed to. So here's what I'm here to teach you today. Let's get your body to 100% function so you can drink and smoke all you want. Okay? Now I've got you guys, right? Let's go, right? Eat all the junk food you want. Do everything you want, okay? Full disclosure, for the last 10 years, that's been my mindset. I get adjusted, I'm fine, right? I'm being completely honest with you guys. I'm like, I get adjusted. I'm fine. I feel good. I'm good. But if I put that picture back up, do you guys think I was really good? I mean, I thought I was. That was my excuse, right? You guys got to understand these things. And you got to start to look at these things in a different way. So really, what health is about is how well is your body functioning, okay? And so yes, nutrition has a piece of it. Yes, exercise has a piece of it. Yes, your mindset has a piece of it. But what it really comes down to, and the missing link in this thing, is the nerve system. I talked about the guitar string before, right? Your nerve system is everything when it comes down to it. So your chiropractic adjustments are a big piece of making sure that the body can function at the highest level that it possibly can. And so how do you know? How do you know where your spine is? How do you know where your nerve system is? Well, we do several different things. Those of you who are guests, some of you guys have been here for a long time. You guys need to hear this too, because you didn't even know what some of that stuff was up on the board. When you look at the spine straight on, the shoulders and hips should be perfectly balanced. So this is a postural thing. Posture is the window of the spine. If your posture's off, then your spine's off. So we have this guy, a Hispanic patient that came from a Spanish ad recently. He comes in last week. His head was stuck. His ear was stuck to his shoulder like this. Mario, right? Yeah. So Mario, his head like literally stuck this way. And over the course of the week, I didn't even have to take an x-ray of him. I know that he's got super mad dysfunction going on inside of his body, right? So over the course of the week, he started coming up like this. But posture is the window of your spine. So if you guys have people that you know in your family that have postural issues, you can see that. Like you guys take pictures of people, you're like, oh my God, their head's always tilted to the side or the shoulder. You guys ever notice that in the family or friends? You see this stuff all the time. So posture, range of motion. If your spine's in the proper alignment, your motion of your spine should actually be dialed in. You shouldn't have any kind of restrictions. So if you know somebody that's backing out of their driveway with their looking over their shoulder like this and they can't do it, right? You know there's a dysfunction inside their spine and their nerve system. So posture, range of motion, and then also we do these computerized nerve scans of your spine to see if there's any kind of heat or problems in there. And the last one is x-rays. And so when we do all those tests, the x-rays actually really tell us how long the problem's been there. When there's subluxation or misalignment in the spine, what happens is it degenerates. When the spine's out of its alignment, it can't move the way it's supposed to. And when it can't do that, the body the innate intelligence starts to try to protect itself, and it starts to lay down degeneration. The disc spaces start to go bad, and you start to get bone spurs in there. These are things that we don't desire, we don't want, but medically they look at that and they say, oh yeah, that's normal aging, right? They try to normalize sickness and disease. It's not normal. It's not supposed to happen. It's common. Heck yeah, it's common. But what happens is it starts to go down this pathway. So then the x-rays kind of will show us that. Now, what that does is when you're out of alignment, we know that dysfunction leads to disease. So some of you guys are sitting here thinking like, especially if you're a guest, you're like, nah, I don't really have any kind of symptoms or any kind of problems. So you're thinking, I probably don't need to get checked. That's the time to get checked because you already could have dysfunction going on inside your body and it's on this pathway. Wouldn't you rather, hopefully your parents taught you how to brush your teeth before your first cavity, right? Hopefully they didn't wait until your first, hopefully they didn't wait until your 10th, right? But hopefully they taught you when you were all the way over there at perfect function for your teeth. But what happens to people with their spine is they get to the point where here, I mean, I guarantee you Madison wishes she would have went to the chiropractor way before the neck pain and back pain was ever there. She wishes somebody would have taught her this so that way she could have been over there. But the problem is most of us need to be in such a place where it's like you're desperate to do something about it, and that's when they end up here in this office. So don't wait until you're desperate to come into the office. If you're a guest here, they can set up a time for you to come in. It's only $40 for you to come get all the testing done. I will also extend this to anybody in this room right now too. If you have a family member that you know needs to be checked, or it's finally time to get the whole family checked, if you're that person, then I'll extend that $40 offer to them this week. You just have to make sure that they get in this next week too, okay? Because I think it's that important. Subluxation, that's the big fancy word I said before. Chiropractors have been trying to teach people this for 125 years, and it's just not sticking to people. But subluxation means a misalignment of the spine, where the spine's out of position and there's pressure on the nerve system. It's disrupting the tonicity or the tension that's in your spinal cord. It's disrupting how your body can actually function or work. It's no different than any other disease, any other problem. It's no different than metabolic disease. What happens is when you start to lose function and you go to dysfunction, eventually you reach a sign where it goes to a spot where it finally goes into warning signals. And of course, these are the neck pains, the back pains, and all the other stuff that you guys typically think of with spine. But you guys know that we help people with cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. We help kids with ADD and ADHD all the time. We help kids with ear infections. We see people that have problems with depression and anxiety on a very regular basis. We see people with sleep disorders and infertility. We see these things on a regular basis. And when they come to me with these symptoms, I tell them what? I don't heal these symptoms. Your symptoms are a sign for me or a warning signal that's telling me what? That you have dysfunction in your body. And what my job is to find out how do we get your function better. So when we get your function better, what happens? Your body heals itself. Because back to what I said before, my job is not to adjust you guys so you can die with less pain. That's not my job. Well, my job is to, yes, let's get you functioning better. I pray that your pains and aches go away. And when people ask me, how long is it going to take for my back pain to go away? I'm like, I don't know. Ask God, because I'm not him, and I have no clue how your body's going to heal. But what our job is, me and you, right, is to get your body doing what? Functioning at a better level. It's funny, I do a radio show for I've been doing radio now for 22 years, I guess now. Gosh, a lot of years. And I've been doing this a long time. But I recently did one about 10 years ago. It was on Heaven Radio. It's no longer a station anymore. They shut down about 3 years ago. And I moved over to another station. And so, but this is how old I've been doing this. I used to have to drive up to North Tryon. Anybody know what that is? It's a long ways away. And so I used to drive up there at 5:45 in the morning to go record on discs, CDs. Remember CDs? You guys remember those? So I had to record. They put a CD in, and they'd say, okay, you press this button, station manager, press the button, and then record. And I'd record 2 shows so I wouldn't have to drive up there but every other week, right? And so I'm recording these things, and I'm saying all this stuff, exactly what I'm telling you guys right now. And the station manager comes into me one day, and he goes, hey, we got to talk. He goes, we've got a listener that's saying that you're making some pretty outrageous claims. And I said, what's that? And he goes, well, you're saying that you cure cancer, that you heal this stuff. And I'm like, pull the tapes up. And so we pull the tapes up, we start listening back. He goes, and he hears me say this over again. I say this over and over again. I've said this for 22 years because I believe in the principle of how this works, and it'll never change. I know what I said. And here's what I was saying. I was saying, I don't heal anything. God heals everything. God can heal your cancer. God can heal your disease, your depression, your anxiety. But remember, God needs no help, just no interference, right? And so I said that to him, and we listened to this thing, and he's like, oh yeah, you're fine. Keep doing what you're doing, right? It's just funny how what people hear though, right? So fascinating along the way. So first step is sign up for your visit today. Again, I'm going to ask you guys, here's your action steps here, is that you've got to do something. Either commit to the 30-day plan or commit to something. If you're not going to do the 30-day plan, commit to something, okay? Even if you're not going to stick to everything that's on the 30-day plan, get the supplements then, or start doing your home stretches or exercises. But if you want to fully have a massive change, make a decision, okay? Burn the boats, and it's start moving in the right direction, right? So if you're a guest here, they know who you are, okay? And if you're out of town, we'll help you, whatever it is. If you're a guest here, see them at the front. They can set up your appointment for the $40 visit to get the spinal checkup, which is super important. They'll also help you with the supplements. The supplements are discounted today. At what rate are they discounted at, Keisha? That's 10. She said 10, but it's 10, okay? So most of you guys understood her, though. You guys are Southerners. So I still love how you say 10. And she still puts up with me after all these years, right? And so also I'm gonna leak this out, but I'm not gonna talk about this till the second half. Second half, I'm gonna talk about the testing stuff. If you have specific testing questions about how do I do that testing, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to be able to do that in the second half because some of you guys are gonna have questions about that. I'll sit up here. You wanna get some music going right any questions before we finish up the first part of this? We're gonna take a 10, 15 minute break. Bathroom, there's only one. There's a couple bushes outside, guys. And so still my preferred place to go. Best time to get supplements are right now because it's at the most cost-effective time. If you're a guest, go ahead and get signed up for that. If you have questions about the 30-day process, anything I can do, let me help you out. Favorite song, good job. Any questions before we cut down from here? Yep. Untethered Soul. Untethered Soul and Visioneering, Andy Stanley. Visioneering, Andy Stanley. Yeah, so good. Yeah, Adrian.
Question for the 30-day challenge.
Yep.
A couple of questions. So I saw the grocery list and I see that. But are there like a weekly meal plan?
Yes.
Recipe?
Michaela, there are weekly meal plans that we have and everything else, right? Weekly meal plans?
I have one.
She can help you with meal plans. We also will leak stuff out on the Facebook site. Do you have Facebook? We'll have a closed Facebook group that will help you with like meal planning and stuff like that. We'll leak stuff to you on that stuff. In the back of one of the books, it also has that stuff as well. Okay, the Align Your Health book, but we'll get you resources, right? You have some. Yeah, she has some guides too. Yep, cool.
Is a 45-minute walk considered a good workout?
Yes. I'll talk more about working out. I'm gonna talk more about working out and foods in the second half too. Okay. Awesome. You guys can walk outside, use your restrooms. There's water here. There's gonna be supplements at the front desk and in the side room right there too. You can. Michaela, you want to cut the video? Just do it. Just do it. What are you struggling with? Just do it. Your back will feel so much better. Like everything will be so much better. I promise you that. I promise you that. Is my mic off yet?
No, it's